So it's like 7:03.
7:01.
Okay, so first thing, we don't have any minutes because we did them from the last time, so there aren't any. This is a meeting that we postponed and relocated 3 times.
At least.
After this meeting tonight, we're gonna count these tickets. I'll be able to finish up the financial report for last Octoberfest. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna talk about tonight, originally we had a scare in that because of commitments, my work and her painting stuff, we almost had to change the date of Octoberfest from the first Saturday in October to the second Saturday of October, because neither one of us would have been available. But it so happened that my company's plans have changed, okay? So it puts me, it's good for me. It
Not good
did
for
not
me.
change hers though. So, but it's enough so that we can leave Oktoberfest where it belongs on the first Saturday of October.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the map like I always did 2 weeks prior. And I can do all the vendor stuff up till that Sunday before. And then he's gonna take over the vendors after that. But pretty much almost all of the work is done, except for that 1 week with the last minute, and he'll have the map of where they can fit and how they'll pay and what do they do. And then, because he'll also have a list of who does what. So we won't have like 5 of this and whatever, and you know, we've got enough of that. And oh, nope, you can't bring that. Yes, you know.
But you won't be there on the day of?
Nope. Nope. And so I have to contact Kara, who's helped me the last 3 years. And if she's coming, she can run that thing that I do. She knows exactly what I do. She can do it. She would just need help the day of. So I have to contact Kara to see if she's definitely coming and keep checking with her up to the date of. And she can do it.
Can she yell at people?
Oh, worse than me.
All right.
Okay, so that means the date it's official, it's October 7th.
I need a vendor form.
I've created them, I will send them to you.
Just gonna email it to you tonight if we remember when we go home. Who
I'll-
wants to come in? What do they do?
What?
What does that person do?
I had 2 people reach out. One is a woodworker,
Ooh, okay.
and the other, I don't know. I don't remember.
What kind of woodworker?
I don't know.
The second best.
Second best.
Yeah, because his is the best.
I think like typical, it's typical stuff, like cutting boards, kitchen stuff. I
Yeah,
think.
we usually have a couple of those, but if you spread them out, it's
Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get you the forms, you can put them on the website.
Great.
And start updating the website, advertise it for the 7th, October 7th, so we can start getting applications in.
Speaking of the website, I'm going to look into moving the site to a different.
Don't like Wix anymore?
No. I've been playing with Squarespace, and I find it to be a bit more user-friendly, and particularly it has a feature that I can build a page and then pull it down and then put it back up when it's time. So it'd be really helpful for like entertainment. I can pull the entertainment page down until we actually get entertainment, lock and load it. And then
So kind of like the program, you can make it and then, and then last minute stuff.
Yeah.
You can put it up there like, 2 minutes before
yeah,
the
you can
event.
print
Yeah.
you can print like 10,000 copies and then leave them at home.
What was the name of that again?
Squarespace. Yeah. Similar pricing though, so it shouldn't really change anything.
Yeah, except that when does the current one expire? Didn't you just renew that one?
We might have. I'll look into it.
Okay. So, I needed the link for the pictures. Do you have a link for pictures?
Nope.
Pictures from last event. That'd be good to have. Shortly after the last event, sometime in October, or sometime late October, early November, I met with the selectmen. I asked, because we had the issue where we run out of space. That unit over there, you helped load that, it's packed, okay, there's no room. So they approved us putting another unit right aside of that one. Okay, we have the unit already. It's at the Scout Hall. And it's been there for a while. That was a temporary thing because it was loaded with kitchen things that have since been pulled out. So we got a project somehow to figure out how to get that unit moved and put aside the other one.
Right.
Once we do that, we're gonna have to do a little work to it. It's got a little floor damage inside from wetness and stuff, but we can just, plywood over that. And then we have 2 units. I'd like to build some shelves in there so that we can put things on shelves and stuff, so that it'd be easy. So we can leave the big stage stuff on one side, and then all of the other stuff and, stuff on the other side.
Yeah, it'd be nice to.
It would be nice to be able to,
spread out a bit.
yeah. So,
When are you gonna do the move? When do you wanna do the move?
As soon as it's warmer.
it's a little warmer, but it's gonna be, it'll be sometime
Soon.
sometime before summer.
Okay.
Is the floor just like some spots kind of thing?
What do you mean?
Like you said, the floor's got some water damage.
Yeah. What had happened is those units, if you remember what one looks like, it's got a big hole in the side,
Yeah.
right? That we put the ticket booth there to block up. Well, the other one has a matching hole. So when you put them together, both those holes line up, okay? Well, on that one, some water had gotten in where that was blocked off, because it wasn't really blocked off. It was blocked off on the inside. And then some water got in, leaked in, and over the course of 10 years, it rotted because it's a wooden floor in there, it rotted the floor off.
Oh, it's a
So
wooden
there's
floor?
some, yeah,
Okay.
so there's
Was a
some,
wooden floor.
yeah. So there's, we're gonna just cover over the wooden part.
Okay.
We're gonna
So
use
say
like
if it was
3/4.
metal, I know someone who owns a metal shop and he might be able to, donate to cover parts of the floor and maybe TIG weld it kind of thing.
Oh, awesome, that would be great.
I can,
Once we get it there, we'll take a look
we'll
at
take a
it.
look at it and I can send him some pictures and see if it's something he can help with. Because, if wood rotted, it's gonna rot again, or, we can get something a little bit more stable.
Nice.
That works,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, when we put it aside of that one, there should be enough room for, for a long time.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Okay, so I've informed the bouncy people to do the chairs and all of that stuff. They're on for the date, so they got that. How about soda? Let's talk about soda. The soda concession. We plan on doing that again, still?
Yeah.
Okay.
How did we do last year?
Hmm?
How did we do last year?
How did we do last year? We made money
All right,
because we didn't have really any investment, so it was all recouping what we had already put in.
okay.
It grossed to, somewhere a couple $1,000 or something, 2,500, I think.
As long as it wasn't a loss.
It wasn't a loss. We were in the black.
At this point, it shouldn't be. It's all paid for.
Yeah.
Um,
They still gotta learn to mix
yeah.
soda.
We had another issue too, which is the pipes, the still froze, right?
It froze
Froze.
during the Octoberfest? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's because it was too much ice in it.
Keith seems to think it froze for 2 reasons. One is that it was a colder day and they weren't pouring constantly, so it had a chance to sit in there, and it could have been too cold.
You're fighting one or the other.
But it makes sense that it froze because
Yeah.
it's water,
Yeah,
not alcohol.
yeah.
So if it sits too long in the still, it's gonna freeze.
But if it's not real cold, it doesn't get fizzy enough.
Yes.
Okay?
Science.
Yeah.
Well, what I had seen was I'd look over and soda guys are gone. Well, they were sitting down so you couldn't see them. So I sent over twice someone to, it's like, hey, you gotta pop up. So maybe they need some bar stools or something to sit on that are higher up that you can see them, but they're not standing the whole time.
It also wasn't, we had bad weather that day.
Yeah.
It was not an ideal day for the soda.
No, it
So
wasn't.
the fact that they
Yeah,
made,
that
Right,
works
it's good.
if it's hot out,
yeah,
yeah.
beer's the same way. The beer garden's the same way. If we have a nice hot day, it does great.
Yeah, but if we have beer, it does great. If we have a hot day, it
It's even better.
Beer does better if we're the only one selling it.
anyway, so, but the soda thing, then we're gonna have to go through, we'll have to pick through colors and stuff and, you know,
Do we need-
flavors and stuff.
Do we need to order more?
Some of the flavors I have now I gotta check expirations. I think that they're done. And then, but, you know, we don't have a real lot of stock left. And then what we'll do is we'll just pick, we won't do what we did the first time where we buy a ridiculous amount. We'll just buy, and then if we sell out, if we do sell out, we sold out. It's done.
It really does go a lot further than we thought it would.
When you what?
The syrup goes a lot further than we thought it would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were worried that we weren't gonna have enough.
The CO2, wasn't that Keith that got that last time?
Keith, yeah, part of that rig is Keith's, right?
Uh-huh.
Some of it's Keith's, some of it's Octoberfest's. So we're gonna wanna sort that out, I think.
Okay, well, somebody's gonna have to take point on that whole soda project.
Am I the new guy? I'll do it.
Yeah.
Following that sword.
Do you know anything about,
Do you know anything about,
I don't even like soda, but I can fake it.
anything about beer?
I know beer.
Have you done like homebrew?
No, I
Okay.
just consume it.
Yeah, that works.
all right, so, because what happened is that you've seen it. We had set up this soda thing and
Kind of seen
The
it.
whole-
I
the
walked
whole-
past it.
the whole idea is that it carbonates the water on the fly. You know, we don't really have this like thing of carbonated water. It makes the carbonated water as we go from our garden hose, right? So, so anyway, we got this thing, and then we add syrup and all of that. But the thing of it is that it requires putting together. It requires setting it up. It requires, you know, getting it all ready. We get people to man it, but it's got to be, you know, put together and assembled and,
Okay.
you know, babysat for a bit.
And that's all the morning of.
Some of it's the morning of. Some of it involves getting ready the time before, like ordering syrup and stuff like that. I kind of did some of that before. You know, we kind of split it up between the three of us, you know, to do this thing.
Okay.
But it's more effective if we put like somebody just in charge of that. And, you know, that's it. That's your thing.
John knows how to set it up and break it down too, so he can help you.
Do you have like an instructional video?
Yeah, it's got 3 views on YouTube.
4.
Now, are we gonna ask Liam and his friends to man it again, or do?
Sure.
So can I ask you to reach out to Liam?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna know this far in advance. But I'll pitch the idea.
If he doesn't want to, the sooner we know, the better, so we can get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
Meaning what? He would beat the.
Him and his friends, they
the
look
con-
adorable, and they run it, and how they get paid is tips. They get to keep all the tips, but it's a cash-only thing. There's no, what is it called? There's no
Venmo or something.
Venmo, there's no whatever. because that way it's always upfront and honest, because accidents happen, things could happen. Oh gee, I only have Venmo, and okay, well, you know, whatever. So, it's a cash only, and the workers get to keep the tips and divide it all up, and they are usually quite happy with that.
Okay.
Bear is good for the 7th. Bear is good for the 7th.
Yes, awesome.
Yep. So
Right.
we got a sound guy.
Yeah, that's why,
That's
the
huge.
minute I found out that it was gonna be the 7th, I wanted to say that no right away.
Yeah.
Good, so we got Bear back. Then you, so just have to come up with an entertainment list.
Yep.
Now you're doing it all by yourself.
Yep.
Yep.
I had sent you the contact person
Yep.
and Tony and I had looked it up. Some of them, YouTubes were in it, but then some of the songs they hit right on. They were really super good.
This is the one you sent me.
Reminiscence,
Yeah.
Best Oldies Band, and we were trying to figure out, and I talked with him for a long time, and they won't lower the price, but you get 4 hours for
Yeah.
$1,200.
I don't want it for 4 hours.
It's a long time.
Yeah. So, I'll check him out. I'll talk to him.
It's all you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would they split up 2 hours and 2 hours or something? Put in 2 hours on this stage, 2 hours on that stage or something?
I don't know. They sound like they're probably a main stage band. And
50s, 60s, and they do a pretty good Johnny Cash.
Yeah. That's
So, and they also like to, like, out of the audience, they like to grab kids to
Mm.
have them involved in it. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, they sound like a main stage band. I would book them for 4 hours, 2 tops. We'll see. We'll tell them.
Yeah, well,
I'll check them out.
we only have so much money going in so many directions, so that's, we're trying to watch funding.
I did get some money from the cultural council. I applied for a grant,
Nice.
so I did get some
Grant money or
money.
to fund it, to
No,
fund
money,
entertainment.
money. Yeah, they're gonna give us money so that we can.
After the effect though, right?
Yeah.
You have to pay the bill and you pay them, they give it to you, is that how it works?
How does it work?
I don't
with-
know how that works. I'm gonna have to find out.
Usually grants are pre, not post. Right? Grants typically don't reimburse.
I'm
Right.
not sure how it works. Tony will reach
I'll
out to
find out.
cultural council.
Yeah, I don't know
But
what
do you
time-
have to have an act
No.
locked
Nope.
in?
No, we're a town festival, so they're contributing because we are the entertainment. The whole festival's the entertainment.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the way I
Oh, I
presented
see.
that.
I see.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
They're contributing to our entertainment festival. for the
How does
day.
it work? How does it work when a band is affiliated with that? We've had those in the past.
What they do, okay, and this is, the band will apply to the cultural council for, so that they can play, somewhere at some town event for, $200 or something, So they put an application in, and then what happens is some public
The apple
thing,
orchard.
okay, becomes the venue. The idea is that, it's supposed to be cultural for the town, so that event, it's supposed to be free to the town.
Yeah.
So we fit that bill nicely because we don't charge admission and our
Yeah.
entertainment is free, so.
How do you find out which bands have applied for cultural?
They have a list.
cultural
They have a
council?
list, the cultural council has a list.
They do?
Of the acts that,
Is it state or
Have applied.
is it the state?
no, there's a state one, cultural council, Massachusetts Cultural
Yeah.
Council, but they give their money to the local cultural
So
council.
it's the Douglas Cultural Council.
Yeah,
How do you find the list?
we'll send you the contact, it just happens to be the contact happens to be one of my bartenders.
Great.
So,
Next.
Next. Let's see. Beer garden. So we're definitely gonna do the beer garden again. The idea is that we wanna do Greater Good again.
Yes.
Okay.
Logistically, how did we do? Because
We did well,
okay,
okay? We would have done better if it wasn't raining half the morning.
sorry, not financially. Just like logistics with Greater Good. Did it work out well? Was
Yes.
delivery smooth? Did it have
Yes.
good customer service?
Yes, yes. There was some confusion with the cold plates and stuff the morning of and picking up the day after, and there was some confusion with picking up.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We'll work that out, but their service, Greater Good was involved, even though we went to
The distributor.
the distributor,
Yeah.
because Greater Good didn't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it worked well. So if Greater Good, I'll reach out to Greater Good, if they're interested in doing it again, okay, then we'll invite them back,
Great.
okay?
Probably should do a tasting again, right?
Hmm?
We probably should do a tasting again,
We'll invite Steve,
just to make sure
there you
that
go. All right, so,
the product
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
meeting
so-
quality control.
so we take a field trip up to Greater Good and pick out the flavors
Okay.
that we're gonna serve at Octoberfest.
Strictly business.
Yeah, I'll bring the crackers. Clean the
Chips,
palate.
they're saltier.
So, but anyway, it was good. The product was pretty well received. They liked it.
Yeah.
The crowd liked it and stuff, so it was good. It worked out well. And then, the response actually from both Greater Good and the distributor, Atlas, between the two of them, we were serviced pretty well. We've had issues in the past with,
Spotted communication.
spotty communications
Customer
with
service.
some of these guys, but.
Is the location locked in too? Is it still in the same location or?
Well, we're gonna, yeah, I have to reach out to the Historical Society, they get that spot ironed out again. Probably, I can't make 100. They have some issues with that building right now. The barn is in precarious state, I guess, where they have to do some structural work on it and stuff. I don't know how that affects us, but,
Okay.
no.
Because we don't go into the barn, but it's more of if something were to, that
Well,
kind of thing?
Well, it also could go under major renovation at one time or whatever, where they would have heavy equipment there and all that
Right.
stuff, so we don't know. So, reach out to them and find out what their plans are, and then we'll figure that out.
Okay.
That is one of, we don't have too many other options.
Right.
So that is
You
one
want a
of the.
front location kind of thing, like you don't want it too far up.
Yeah,
up on
it's really like the perfect spot for that whole thing, and it's worked out well. We'd have to, come up with some other solution, but, so far we haven't had to. And we make a donation to the Historical Society too, based on that, so, it helps them, it helps us,
Okay.
so,
Did we clean up sufficiently
yes,
there?
yes. Right now they got some stuff outside, the building is weird, so, I don't know. But
As long as
we
it's
cleaned
not
up.
us. They can-
Yeah, we were perfect. We didn't find anything that was noteworthy. So,
You had talked about a feedback form going somewhere. You had talked about a tent.
yeah, if you remember last year, and this actually came up from the Historical Society that day, because it started off raining that morning, and we didn't know what it was gonna do. So I had the opportunity to get a good price on a tent set up by the people that do up our bouncies.
Mhm.
So it was a pretty good sized tent, if you remember how it looked like in front of, we just put it there so that it would be a place for people to go to get out of the rain if it started really raining. I don't know, so we thought, gee, why don't we could potentially put a big top tent there. or somewhere, for people to sit in shade and stuff, or even if it was raining or misting or something in the morning.
How much is the cost for that?
It cost $150 to set the tent up.
That's the rental too?
That's the whole thing.
Oh, well, my goodness, that's a no-brainer.
But it's 400 to tear it down.
No,
Yeah.
no, they can put that tent up. They came a half hour earlier to set the tent up. And then they set the tent up first, and then they put all the bounces up.
So we're gonna do a tent over the beer garden?
Get a little trouble with that because of the low trees there.
Yeah.
What about in front of the barn?
That's
That's
where
what I
we
did
Was
last year.
we
last
had
year.
it. But was it open to the beer garden?
It was open to the beer garden, and they had
It was.
a food guy there. Remember the bistro guy from Webster?
You didn't have it fenced.
No,
Nope.
no. You had your beer garden fenced in, and that just had tables for whoever wanted to eat. And 88's was there, had a great menu in the corner unit area there, and they pulled forward a little bit.
Yeah. The idea was that the 88 Bistro from Webster, they had set up in that kind of little corner area on the right-hand side of the barn. The beer garden's on the left-hand side, fenced in, like it always is. Okay? And then we have a couple of awnings that we set up in the beer garden anyway. I set up an awning for the band that's in there. I set up an awning for the bartenders, and then I have like a bigger awning that we set up, kind of like in front of the beer that makes kind of like the bar area. And then we have set up 10 8-foot round tables with chairs all the way around. That's the beer garden. Well, I got an additional 10 tables so that people that bought food had a place to sit, okay? And that was gonna go on the right-hand side. The bistro set up there anyway, so that would have been great for them. But we were gonna have rain, so I had a tent put up over all of that. And it seemed to work. It kind of hid the bistro guy a little bit in the back.
He pulled forward though.
But he pulled forward, yeah.
So what did 88's, did they have just prepared foods that just kind of stayed warm and you walked up to them and ordered what you wanted and walked away?
Yeah.
I didn't,
Yeah.
I remember them being there, but I don't remember
They had a
the menu or
different
how
menu.
they served it.
I try to make sure all my food vendors are
Yeah.
different, and that was a lot of going back and forth. I don't exactly remember what their menu was, but I can look it up if you want. And
But they didn't go until, they didn't like need any of like the junk store or any of that to like prepare things or keep things
Nope,
warm.
nope, they
were
brought
just
everything.
Right there in that.
They
Yep.
brought everything,
Yeah,
they brought everything, it was all made in their restaurant, whatever, and they probably brought it, and just served it hot
Yeah.
or warm or, kept
With
it warm.
sternos, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to get a tent over the beer garden, what if we shifted it, put the beer garden here, and then, oops, that's not what I want to do.
That's-
Do any of the vendors give feedback like after, like with 88's, if they don't, great turnout or?
So you could put the beer
a
garden
lot
here,
of people
And then
answer
put
on
the,
Facebook,
put the
or
food
they'll
vendor-
contact
put
someone,
the food
their
vendor over here,
thoughts.
just
I even had a
switch
notebook
around.
out there.
So you avoid the
suggestions,
tree.
comments.
put that big tent,
We
put that big
didn't
tent
really
here.
hear many complaints because someone will post pictures on, there's like 4
I don't know,
things.
we
in
should look at it,
Douglas.
we should go take a look at it
Douglas Blackstone Valley.
during the
Weird
daylight,
Dynamic
because,
Douglas,
I
obvious,
think
there's
it's,
like
if we
4
could get
of them
a
in town.
tent over the beer garden.
And people do not
That would be
hesitate to make
I would like to have a
comments.
tent over the beer
And
garden.
I think it went, there's always a
Yeah.
few.
Right.
Other than that,
Um,
even with the weather, come 11 o'clock, boom, it
It
was
might be,
jam-packed.
it actually might be, because there's a couple of branches on that tree that probably should come down anyway.
Yeah.
Because so we'll think about that.
Yeah.
If a couple of those branches came down, we'd be able to put the tent up without a problem.
All right, so this side of the table, we didn't see the picture of the map, so you're speaking of possibly where?
So,
Well, he was thinking of putting the beer garden where we had the tent last year.
Okay,
set the
Moving
beer
it out of the
garden.
corner and bringing it up so that it's under the tent.
Okay,
And then, you know, if there was a food vendor, put the food vendor where where the bar was.
yeah.
And then put, because this is all open and clear, you could run that big tent.
You
You could
still
put that
have to
big
have
tent
it all
there.
roped in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's still all in the grass, so you could still all rope it in. It's just,
Okay.
there's no branch or covering, so it would allow you to put that big tent there.
And then you could put the tables and chairs for everyone to sit where the beer garden was, so there's still seating. You would have to
Yeah.
work with the Historical Society if they will okay that.
Well, I want to measure it and see if it, because I don't want to lose any space,
True?
you know, like, because I think that would be smaller. The tent that we put over there was smaller than the beer garden,
Yeah,
you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah, we should look at it and play around with that,
yeah.
because I think that's a good idea to get that tent. Even if the weather's good, it's nice to get some shade.
Yeah. Okay,
Next.
all right, so, prizes.
Well, we have started collecting prizes. We don't have a lot, but we have some. We just need to know where they're gonna go and be stored and who is going to do the prizes this year. We love and enjoy going to get the prizes. It's storing them and then marking them.
What are the prizes for?
Yeah,
The cash cube and the
Christina did a great
spinny
job.
wheel. The
Yeah.
spinny wheel has,
She
each
can do a
prize
great
has to
job
be
again.
Yeah, I'll
over
volunteer.
$10
Huh?
worth.
I'll volunteer.
And they're
again.
adult.
okay, so Christina's gonna do, she just
You're
volunteered.
volunteering? Does she know you're
I'll
volunteering her?
Volunteer Christine, she can do it.
Okay.
She doesn't mind. We actually did it pretty quick this year. We did it together. It took us one night. We had it all done.
Yeah,
Okay.
Storage, if you're really hard up, I can find some space in the basement, but my mother-in-law lives with us now.
Still?
Yep. And all of her stuff lives with us. So she currently occupies 1.5 garage spaces of stuff, and that is moving downstairs, so now it's in my basement and in my garage. So space is,
She didn't purchase her house? No. Okay, John. You know where we live. Or if Christine needs a break,
Yeah.
you know where we live.
Let's go to Greater Good.
yeah.
All right, I'll be designated driver.
So anyway, the short of it is, if you are really hard up for space, I can find some space, but.
Well, you've seen all the prizes we've had before. And we have large boxes and
It's usually not
It's-
too bad until like
2 weeks
September-
before.
Yeah, September 15th,
yeah.
and it gets crowded.
We wait till the middle of September before we go and get prizes. That way, we don't have to worry about it, we don't have to store them, because our house is this big. There is no attic, there is no cellar, there is no garage. So every little space we have, we use. So,
With the storage unit. Can
What's-
the prizes live in the storage unit?
well, it depends.
depends on what
We,
they
uh,
are and weather, and stuffy's not a good idea to have that outdoor musty smell.
Outdoor musty smell isn't
Yeah,
good.
not good, not good.
But-
All right, why don't we do what we did last year? If you can start, if you want to start giving them to me like September 1, September 7, something like that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
that'll work. All right, are we gonna do a mailing?
Oh, that reminds me, we had some issues with the prize distribution
What do you mean,
last year
distribution?
from the games, like Cash Cube. It wasn't, the system wasn't working like it's supposed to work.
Okay,
Is it because the people weren't trained properly?
I don't know. I don't know.
We did have one person that, well, I don't want that, I want this. Well, no, sorry.
Yeah, so it was later in the day. Luke wound up playing the Cash Cube, and came out and she was like, congratulations, you won, like, here's your prize, instead of like giving out the
Oh, the two teenage girls at the end.
maybe it was that.
They were adorable, but they weren't exactly following the rules. I don't even know who they were. And it was good that they were friends and they did it together, but they weren't following the rules. I went over a couple of times to them.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that, because I wrote these little rules, okay, that for everything, and they were there, okay,
Do we need to have adults only doing them?
well, the problem is that you need volunteers, and
Right.
but the person that sets up, when I put them there very first thing in the morning, and I train them how to do it, and that person does okay. The problem is when another person comes and relieves them. I'm off someplace else because I can't be everywhere.
What are
And
you
then-
doing?
So now what happens is that person doesn't really get trained on how to do it, and they kind of make up their own, and then I find then we find out that they've been giving prizes away with no numbers or something.
Or not giving all the prizes that should have gone to Luke, that he didn't get them.
That's besides the
Well, no, if it
He doesn't
happened to
need
him,
more. He doesn't need more
it could have happened to someone else
toys
too.
than
Yeah.
us.
But who heads up getting those volunteers? Like, how do you know we have enough volunteers?
John's really good
Where-
about getting volunteers.
I got a handful of
What happens
students.
is I have a lot of my lists of all of the things that are involved and where we need help, coverage, volunteers, like a volunteer sign-up sheet for this and this and this and this. Okay? Well, sometime, within a few weeks of the event, I start getting fed like volunteer names from different sources, from John and somebody else wants, and then, I put them in. Well, some of these people I don't see until the day of the event,
Yeah.
but, so, they'll show up, and they, either plans changed and they can't stay as late as they wanted, and they need, or they have to leave early, or
People don't show
they
up.
came early because they were supposed to be here at 12, but they can't do 12 now, they're gonna come do 9:30 instead.
Yeah.
So we try to, we try to juggle all of that around so that it works. But as a result, that you put them where you need them at the time, but, sometimes it gets really.
So is it like a volunteer form, or like do you just get a name, or like do we know their
All of
level
the above.
commitment? Because like if we had like say 2 people that could say, okay, hey, I can volunteer for 4 hours, and I can volunteer for 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
Maybe those 2 people, we have them into one of the meetings and say, okay, look, we're gonna need your help with the cash cube, blah, blah, blah. You can do the first couple of hours, you can do the second couple of hours, and then as all the other volunteers kind of rotate through, you have that constant that can
Yeah.
sort of educate them on, or inform them of how to make sure that it's
Yeah.
done properly.
Now, there was a time at Octoberfest, way back, okay, where I had this guy in charge of all of the guys on the lawn,
Oh, the bouncies?
the bounties.
Yeah.
Him. Did a great job. So it seems like he's gotta be the volunteer guy.
It's like pre-grade. But, I mean, that's the thing, like, if
Yeah.
we, obviously it's gonna be hard for them to volunteer for the whole day, but if you had 2 people that could volunteer
Yeah.
for half a day, like, okay.
What makes it a challenge though is that because a lot of times we'll get volunteers sign up, 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead of time.
Mhm.
And then as it gets closer, all of that gets thrown out the window and changes because, they can't do it now, or this person, can't do it this time and they can do this time instead. So then we have to be able to adapt and make that work.
I had the brilliant idea of reaching out to all the schools in the area to their National Honor Societies.
Yep.
So those kids need volunteer hours. And we got a few,
Mhm.
but the number was like this, and then the day of it was like this.
Mhm.
High school kids were not super reliable.
Your drama girls were fantastic in the
Yeah.
parade.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
Yeah.
I'll get them again.
Yeah. They're gonna do the puppets again?
I hope so, yeah, 'cause I
Yeah.
think, I don't think many, if any of them were seniors.
My
Yes,
understanding
they
is
did-
they had
did
a blast.
They did a great job. They had a blast doing it, and we liked it.
We have to add to it without you making anything.
Um,
So what do you want me to help with the cash cube stuff?
Well, volunteers in general. So what'll happen is I have a whole, I have a lot of paperwork that we've created over time that help you try to organize this stuff. You know, a list of all of the things that we do, all of the things that need help, volunteers for and stuff. So I'll give you copies of that so you can take a look. Because that'll kind of put in perspective what it is we need coverage on, you know?
yeah, there are time slots.
Yeah,
Now that I know that,
yeah.
that'll be helpful for me. Yeah, I was asking people like how many hours they wanted to volunteer for, like morning, noon, afternoon kind of thing. And then from there,
And then you get some kids that want to work with other kids.
yeah. And then from there you can like, okay, here's your time slot, you'll be. what is
It does get a little
This
frustrating if you put a volunteer or two, for instance, like at the hat table. The hat table that's on my list of, to talk about the hats and totes, but it's a table, it's set up, it is sponsored by Harbros, and they pay for all the supplies, and we put up a sign, and kids of all ages can go decorate a hat or a tote. And there are even teenagers that go every single year decorate a hat. Well, you get volunteers that's like, okay, I need you here. Okay, you turn around, they found it boring and they walked away. Didn't say a word to anyone. They just walked away. So now I'm scrambling, trying to find someone to be there because you gotta make sure someone's not doing 5 hats
Or.
because you'll run out.
Yeah, there's gotta be organization to it. Okay,
That's part of the volunteer
All right.
list. We'll give you a list.
all right,
That's when you
so,
rope in family.
so we'll see if we can work on getting a little more organization done with volunteers.
Yep.
All right. And then, so I'll throw you all of that paperwork that I have for volunteers and time slots and all that stuff. And none of it, all of it's kind of like guidelines, you know, we can modify anything to make it work.
Or fold it into a folder and just slid over instead of thrown. Just figure it out.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get a white lady this year?
I'll try.
Did you say a weight lady?
Years
It's a
ago,
private joke.
there's a lady
Not really
years
private.
ago that John got that she dressed in white. She was on a platform of white, and I watched her get herself together. She was a short little lady,
Living statue.
living statue.
Yeah.
And she did perfect. And she would, if someone gave her money, even the little kids should thank them or blow them a kiss, and they would have to go get another dollar, go get more money.
Yeah,
And she
because-
even bowed to the king of the parade. It was
So
fantastic.
she's like a statue all day. She doesn't move.
For 8 hours.
Stays in the same spot until, you know, unless you gave her a tip or you walk by or something that caught her eye, and then she'd do something small, and then, you know, she's a statue again. It was like awesome. She did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just join the
There were
circus.
people just standing there watching her for hours.
I'd like to do that.
And I'd
But
be
anyway,
like,
You're busy that
she was all white. She looked like a
Yeah, that's-
a
yeah.
statue. So that's why.
and we had
Oh,
another
right.
person after that who couldn't do as many hours, and she was pretty good.
Yeah.
But do you pay them or they just work off of tips?
Wow.
We paid her a flat fee. It was-
And she collected tips, which
$200.
made it absolutely worth her while. But it was an attraction though. So
yeah,
it worked. It was
It
worth
was
it.
good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've asked her every year since, and she's been not living in the area anymore, but I'll try again.
Yeah.
I struggled to find anyone else though. The second woman we had never got back to me, and I found this like performance troupe that was very expensive, and they only did like a short thing, like 45 minutes or an hour,
Nope.
and they were very expensive.
How about some street entertainers? Like Like,
Ed the Wizard is a big hit.
yeah, but how about like a guy that can sit there and play the drums on, plastic buckets or
Oh,
something?
Jesus.
Huh?
Probably obnoxious. But I get your
Those
point.
are good. If you get the right ones who know what they're doing, they're really good. And there are even teenagers or kids that can do that.
Well, even, like the Blue Man Group, they play
geez,
drums on
you know.
pipes, on plastic pipes, so, and, no?
No, yeah, no, you're right. It'd be great. I love Ed the Wizard because we pay him to walk around and do street magic.
Yeah,
His stage performances are fine, but the fact that he's like out making balloon animals and doing the street magic is worth it. For what it's
Someone had come up to my booth looking for the man that was making balloons, and I had no idea Ed the Wizard was doing balloons till the end of the day. I'm like, I
he does
don't
them all
know.
day.
Yeah. So yeah, Ed the Wizard is really good if he will come back. How he dresses is kind of super cool.
Street entertainment. All right.
We doing the wiener dogs?
Yeah.
Who's gonna help you? Keith usually helps you. Oh! Okay, Steve!
Wieners and soda.
the wiener dog races.
I don't think I need you for anything, Steve, until it's day of.
Okay.
We'll set up the course.
Straight shot.
Yep.
He does all the mic work, you
how's
just say,
your,
come on, doggy.
How's your color commentary?
Depends on the audience.
How's your wiener jokes?
Wiener dog races.
People love that. I've never seen it except for on Facebook when they post it.
Yeah.
People absolutely love
They-
it, and
they-
I'm like,
It
okay.
is, it's a great
It's a lot of
event.
fun. It's a lot of fun for like 2 minutes of 2 minutes of racing. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it brings people down there. which is fun.
If I start at the beer garden, my wiener jokes are pretty good.
They'd be betting, they'd be
Yeah.
betting on them.
Probably draw a crowd.
I'll talk to Ron. Talk to Ron about it.
Yeah, there was something he was looking for last year. I don't know if we found it or whatever. It was some gate thing or something.
He wants to build a new gate. It's the gate they have. It's not great. It's on pipes.
Yeah,
And so if it's got to come up at the same time, and if it doesn't come up at the same time, then it gets jammed and stuck. They want to do like a swingy gate. I can't imagine it's that hard to do something like that, but I don't know. They don't seem to be like crafty like
oh,
that.
they're not like engineering people?
Yeah,
So they need a design,
and probably someone to build it.
and probably you could make it out of PVC pipe.
That's what they're currently using. Yeah, I think you'd want to glue the PVC pieces together.
Well,
'Cause
some
they-
of them, you want to be able to take the others
Right,
apart, so
right.
you would put it together with like a pin or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many bays are there?
How-
Like
how
how many
many-
dogs?
yeah,
are there?
how many
Is it 4?
gates?
Is it 6? Is it?
How many dogs
I
at a time?
think they have 6 lanes, 4 or 6, but
6 lanes?
4 or 6, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
yeah.
But we've never run, I think 4 would be sufficient, because we've never run more than 4.
Okay, 4 lanes. Then I just need to know dimensions.
Can you look it up from the track? The track width? Do you remember what we bought?
Well, the track width is the width of the roll of
Yeah.
green stuff, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
whatever that is.
I think it's 4 feet. Honestly. It's like a standard size. That would be 4 feet wide, the roll.
No, I think it's
I'll
wider.
measure
No,
it,
it's
but-
wider than that.
Huh?
It's wider than that.
And would
Might be
maybe
8 feet,
6.
maybe-
No, it wouldn't be 8, it
No?
would be 6.
Okay.
Where's the roll? Sometime you can just go
Oh,
measure.
I know where they are. Unfortunately, we trip over them when we go into that spot. Yeah. Yeah. They were either 6 foot or 8 foot.
I want to re-engineer the gate, the fencing too. Because the system we have isn't great with the buckets.
All right, well, they were easy to move though, that's why.
Yeah, no, I know. And we did, yeah, we put it together last minute. Maybe we could do some with PVC pipes there too.
Maybe. How long is it?
I don't remember, 25 feet, 30 feet? I don't think it's 50 feet.
Okay, so what's gonna happen, we probably should re-roll those things anyway, because.
Yeah, I did do it. I think I did it by myself.
Yeah, all right, so that's actually when we move the unit, and we put the other unit there, and after we do it, then we're gonna be moving stuff around, so that's the time to pull those rolls out.
Yeah.
Roll them out, measure them, see how much it's in it.
Where does that get set up?
Hmm?
Where does that get set up?
In front of this stage B. in front
Oh,
of
that's right,
Harry's.
okay, yeah,
In front of the goodness store.
yep.
We roll out, we have like buckets and there's fencing and we roll out like the fake artificial grass. We have like two
Turf.
big huge rolls of that stuff.
Mhm.
And it makes the track that they run on. You know, we just gotta make some kind of a gate.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, what do we do new this year?
Well, can I go over what I have?
Sure.
At the moment for hats and totes, we have 65 hats and 17 totes. We have plenty of markers. I threw away the very few that didn't work. All the others worked. We need more hats, so I have to order more hats.
Okay.
Is this that Harborough thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, they love it because it's a free thing and
They have painters hats, they
Yeah.
put canvas hats and they
use
draw.
fabric markers and they color, draw, whatever. And this last year I had added some colored pencils and some color books just for something else for the kids to do. And we've had a request for, something more for the younger kids to do. So I'm gonna contact the Second Congo, cause they did some stuff last year. So I'm gonna ask them if they can do more kid things. They had a whole bunch of things they were letting the kids, little crafty things. So I'll reach out to them. And we have had a request for the chess tournament type person to come back. Well, he's no longer here with us, so,
Here with us?
well, he's no longer alive. I was trying to be polite.
Got it. He's no
Yeah.
longer here
Yeah.
with us.
So, in that, people like that. They paid so much and they played this man and he was playing 4 or 5 people at a time.
What did they win if they won?
I don't know. That I would have to ask the library all that. But it was just something else for the older kids to do and they liked that. And we need some more games or activities than what we have. Because
Yeah.
not everybody wants to do the cash cube, and you have to be over 18 to do the spinny wheel. And then you've got the dart throwing, and then sometimes there's not a lot more than that.
Can you guys do the pedal cars or something like that, obstacle course thing, or
Yep, there's the
How
trike
was-
races on the side.
how was that received? Wasn't
Depends
that
on the
newish?
weather, so,
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
especially when you
Trikes,
race your
yeah.
brother.
Yeah. They're a blast. Does the ride company have any rides for younger kids?
Yes.
Like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old stuff?
What do you mean, besides the bouncies?
Yeah.
Who's gonna man them? We have difficulties now getting people to man the
Steve.
rides. Huh?
Steve.
You better triple yourself, Steve.
I can look and see what they have for younger kids. Typically, bouncies are the younger kids stuff.
You're thinking of changing out one of them?
I don't know.
I think the bouncies, it's like, you get the 3 to 7 age group, and then, the older kids want to go in with their friends, but then you got some of the little kids in there, and then that creates a bigger line, and you kind of need that like
Yeah,
7 to 8 to 9-year-old thing.
I kind of do that. We have like two, we have a bouncy that's run by like the Cub Scout pack, and that tends to get the younger ones in there because it's a smaller bouncy. And then we have a bigger bouncy with activities in it, like, you know, there's a basketball or something in it, or, you know,
It
some
has a
obstacles
slide
in
with
it.
it, yeah.
And then we have like the big slide, which is a bouncy thing. And then we have the obstacle course bouncy, which is actually almost 100% little kids, you know? But I think we're talking about activities that are not like a bouncy, something else, like some kind of a game or something that they play. We had the train, and then I have the barrel train, which is actually for little kids, you know, that's for 10 and under, so, so that's another thing, but, you know, there's not many games and stuff for younger ones.
Yeah, I think Christine was sort of feeling it last year with Luke, who would have been 5, and he really wanted to do all the things, but isn't quite old enough to do all the things.
Okay.
And I think she was realizing it really isn't like a ton for him to do like at that age.
Yeah, he's in an age group that's in the middle, so
Mhm.
that's what, I guess that we're trying to identify that.
So is there like,
Yeah.
are there more of those like 5 to 7, 8 type things?
We do have, right, that, hence, we did get, like, we have the big trikes, but we put 2 little trikes there with it. So, I don't know how well those did, because I didn't get a chance to get over there. But we had, you know, the big wheel trikes for adults, but there was two little kid big wheel trikes there too, so that, trying to involve, you know, the younger ones.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's something that we reach out to the vendors to, you know, challenge them to come up with some other things that they've done with, you know, some of their other apps that they've had. And
And
events
then
that
there's
they've worked at.
actually a couple of bouncies that I would like to get, but at one time at Octoberfest here once, we had an inflatable climbing wall, okay? I don't know if you remember
Yeah, I
that.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the National Guard.
No, that was a real climbing wall.
Oh.
It was a tower that they put on a trailer.
That's what I'm thinking of.
We had, it was an inflatable one. This is when we were doing the big things behind the library, the inflatables.
Hmm.
And they blew up this climbing wall, and it was like this big cone. And they, you know, it was like rock climbing on this cone. It actually worked. And, you know, they had a blast. Especially the high school kids had a blast on it all day.
Do we, do we have a petting zoo?
Where would we put it?
Did we have one?
Years ago we did. This last year we did not, because there was no place to put it. We
What
had
was
someone
up
who
with
wanted
the-
to do, the weather held them back.
Okay.
There was a farm that was going to bring a couple of animals, and they were gonna set up a marketplace, and then Weir's Farm was gonna set up
Yeah.
a farmer's market, and that was gonna be up towards the school.
Yeah, because remember last year we had, Whittier's Farm did the hayride.
Yeah.
And they did it as part of our parking thing
Yeah.
up from the post office to the school. And up at the school, they were gonna Whittier's Farm was gonna do a farmer's market up there. And then this other farm was gonna bring some animals and stuff and do a petting zoo and, you know, do a farm, some other farm things. But the rain killed that.
Yeah.
That may
Let
be too far away anyway.
Yeah.
Let me, well, so what it did wind up happening is some families wound up just riding the hayride, just for something to do. They rode the hayride.
Okay, at least somebody was on it.
Yeah, not many people were on it.
We still had to pay for, they donated a portion of the cost of the hayride, but we still had to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think on a day that we have lots of people parking there, it'll be nice.
Right. Did we ever hear from Soldiers Field how they did down there? Because at 11 o'clock, when the
Yeah.
weather cleared up, there were tons of people there.
Yeah.
We parked there and I think they did quite well.
Okay.
Yep. The donations were optional for parking. There was plenty of parking. We got there like very late morning, and when we left mid-afternoon, it was still lots of, space being used up, but still lots available.
So who did them last year so that we can contact them again and ask if they'll do it again?
That was whoever, whatever, I don't
I'll
know,
have
the
to look
athletic
back.
thing or something,
Keith coordinated it. I don't
Yeah.
remember who we went through.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing is like, bringing in new things. It's just, I think it comes down to the real estate that you have.
Mhm.
Because I think once you start to like, the hayride and things like that, now you're bringing people like, I think you focus on like the foot traffic of people wanting to just kind of stay in that area, and how far can you push that, or, how far can, or how much can you fit in there? Because I think once you go outside of that, that's when you start to lose people. Because it's not the norm. It's kind of like outside of that space.
I also have on my list that we need better signage that shows that there's vendors up and around the
Mhm.
corner.
Yep.
Meaning up at the church and around
Yep.
the back, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And a lot of times people at that, because once in a while I walk around and everything, and the people would stop me, it's like, yeah, how do I get on Main Street? First come, first serve. As soon as I send out those applications, they go to my vendors, prior year vendors first. And then it goes out to the public. So John, you're gonna have to hold off just for a couple of days so I can send my emails of the vendors.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they realize that, because some of them were calling me the week before, and they wanted to know how do they get down on Main Street? Not wait till last minute. You always put it politely, it's like it's first come, first serve. So as soon as you get your application, you need to mail it in right away. It is first come,
It's
first
funny,
serve.
it's funny how, because it's just funny how it's changed. Because when we first started doing this, all of the vendors were on the church lawn, okay? None of them were on the street, right? And then the very first year that, we had Dave St. George with us then. The very first year that we put all of the vendors on the street, they were all screaming, I don't know if this is gonna work. And then at the end of the day, they loved it. And so Main Street has been the place to be ever since.
We still have someone who
So-
lives in the area that wants us to go back to that. Why can't you put the vendors on the lawn and put the rides behind the library? Behind the library is now gravel,
Yeah.
and you'd still have to close Main Street. The police are gonna wanna close Main Street, so.
Well, that was before, yeah, but that was before we drew 20,000 people to town, So, we didn't close the road then, We're
Speaking
trying
of the library, why don't I reach out to Justin and see if he has any thoughts on programming for children?
Oh,
Because I know they have like a monthly Lego club.
Yep,
Like maybe they set up a Lego booth and just kids can come and play with Legos. That
I
kind of
think
stuff.
the issue he may have is not enough employees the day of.
Yeah, why don't I see what he
Okay.
yeah,
thinks.
see, pick his brain,
Yeah.
see what he can come up with, yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Pinewood Derby car?
Not a fan. It's just too, we're spread too thin,
It,
I
I
can't,
thought
I
it was
can't
gonna
man it.
go well, and it didn't. I mean, people weren't buying, no matter what we did. We advertised everything, and people
And it
didn't
was
want
plenty
it.
of time, we advertised plenty of time,
Yeah.
It was at least 6 weeks ahead.
It's like 6 weeks.
Yeah. It just didn't. The ones that you had that did it, there was like, 5 or 6 that bought cars or something. they were serious about doing it,
Yeah.
okay? But there just wasn't enough of them, you know?
Gregory's owner, he bought a couple for him and his grandsons to do it, where they
Yeah, I
just
think
didn't work.
we found out that we sold somewhere around 7 or 8 cars total. It's just not enough,
No.
you know?
I have a thought, under new activities, new ideas. There at the lodge is a person who uses the lodge for baking. And it's called Center Bakery. And I've actually watched her work, and I'm served safe, and so is she. And I was pleased how they clean and bake and all that. I was going to contact the lodge to see if they would allow her, and if she's willing, to have a little bakery inside the day of. We don't have anyone that has baked goods or pastry, or here, buy this loaf of bread and take it home, or buy this pie now that you're going home. Well, that was just a thought I was gonna put out there to you guys, where it doesn't cost us anything, and it would give something to the Masons Lodge and draw people up there as well.
So that's good to me.
Alrighty.
There's also that new bookstore in town.
Yeah, we went in there.
Should maybe mention a vendor spot for them, or hand them a form or something.
Well, I'll let them know, and I will, they'll be part of I will let all the, since they're new, the front real estate person realizes, but because they are brand new, I will remind them, here's an application, same with the bookstore, here's an application, whatever, but just so you know, it's coming. And they may not buy a vendor spot because they have their sidewalk. The real estate out front may want to, because otherwise they will be blocked by vendors. So, and they did set up last year.
Yeah, we typically don't put anyone on that side of the street where the book people are anyway, because we put food across the street from them. That's a food street. So, they stay on their sidewalk. They'd be right in the thick of it, but not in a way,
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. They have
Yeah.
those little shelving things that they wheel out. That's $1, $2 carts. They can always leave them inside unless, because there's a lot of people. It's their choice what they would like to do. So,
Yep.
but I will let them know.
What'd you think of the smoke guys last year?
That was the chair, right?
Yes.
What's smoke guys?
Oh, and you didn't
I didn't.
even notice that we had a truck that did barbecue there.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
They did barbecue?
yeah.
Oh, because they couldn't do kettle corn, so they did
We had them do,
barbecue.
they did barbecue.
Yeah, they were slinging
pulled
pulled pork sandwiches, right? And,
Yep.
yeah,
They had a line.
nice.
They
That's
had a
great.
line, so they had all this, we actually even used them for an event we had at the Scout Hall. We used them for an Eagle Court of Honor.
Yeah.
We had
Nice.
them there and they did the barbecue dinner.
My understanding is the people like the food. They did well.
Yeah. They
Are we
did
in-
pulled pork and mac and cheese and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great. Let's get them back.
So, and it smelled really good. People were real happy to have that there.
So do we want to send out a thing and ask
Yeah,
them?
he's on my list. Everyone who was there last year, unless we had an issue with them, they automatically get an application.
I had asked them at one time during the day, if they were, because it started raining in the morning, it was hard. But I asked them how well they did, and I said, the real killer is, would you come back? And he goes, oh yeah. So, there you go. So
It
they
tells
did
you.
okay. Huh?
Indirectly tell you.
Yeah.
We did not have raised fries last year. Do we ask them to come back this year, or tell the smoke guy?
I would send them an application. I wouldn't ask
Okay.
them anything special. I just send them an application like you do in the past, and then have them contact us or whatever.
Yeah.
They bowed out because of rain.
Is that the
Raised fries.
Yeah.
the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the daughter that's running it now. And it's not the, used to be, it was an old lady and a guy, and
Yeah.
they don't do it
parents.
anymore, so her daughter takes it once in a while and goes off and does stuff.
I think she was thrilled.
But she's a little particular about the shows that she does. If it's gonna rain, then it's not worth her while, it's not gonna do it, you know? She bowed out because the weather was predicted to be bad.
But once it opened, almost everyone else sold out of food.
Which kind of worked for us, because in that spot is where we put the barbecue guy, and they were selling
Yeah.
that plus french fries and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
we called
so-
him and said, hey, can you bring french fries? The fry lady isn't coming.
Absolutely.
All right, so any other thoughts for new activities, or, I like to change it up a little bit different every year.
Do you want to get your ice cream guy that never showed up,
He showed up.
but he left?
Yeah, because he wasn't gonna do anything. All right.
It was raining when he showed up. You know, you don't sell ice cream in the rain.
Or do you? We'll never know.
Okay, and
If he would have stuck it out, he would have done reasonably well, because it was over by 11,
Yeah.
you know, so we had pretty much most of the day.
Yeah, most food vendors did very well.
A lot of food vendors sold out. We sold out of Friday again, you know?
You're gonna contact the bartenders.
Yep.
Okay. Now,
What's the bartenders?
Well, I have two women that do bartenders for the
professional.
beer garden.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Bartending, they require that they have, you know, certifications.
We
and
never
stuff,
have
so-
to worry about them because they're certified, they know exactly what they're doing.
Marnie's one, right?
Yep,
Yeah, Marnie's
Marnie
one
and Jen.
And Jennifer Stitchfield. And then I went and got it too, just in case. So,
He got
so
certified.
now I have, the serve-safe stuff for alcohol too, so. That helps when I apply for the licenses and stuff.
Do we have room for anything else that's new? Yeah, I mean, this is the Waters Farm flyer because I had printed it up because just in case we had to have it the same date, which luckily we don't. And they pretty much have a lot of what we have. And they have working old gas engines, chainsaws, tractors. We don't really need that. They have a maple sugaring process. Yeah, they have a barn for that. For the activities for the kids, they have games, bounce house, photo booth, face painting, barrel train rides, petting zoo, crafts, and obstacle course, plus they have vendors. So we have most of the same thing. They do have pumpkin bowling, where you set up the pins and you use a little pumpkin and you knock the pins down. Which I feel bad for the pumpkin when you could be cooking and eating it, but you know, what's the difference if you make it a Halloween jack-o'-lantern or... But you also need someone to man it, so...
We went last year. We went. It took the family.
Okay. You liked it? Anything that could help us? No? Okay.
No.
Are they competition?
It's just different. It's just a different event.
Yeah, some of the stuff they do, we don't want to. And let them have their stuff and we have ours, so it's...
Yeah. Yeah, so they have like, they didn't have very many vendors there. They have kind of like, one of the buildings, they had a handful of vendors in there, and then they had another little vendor spot, but they had maybe, I mean, it couldn't have been more than 20
Okay.
vendors. Weren't many at all. And they only had one food vendor. All the food was just under 110. So I like that we've got like lots of variety. You can kind of get different stuff.
Yeah.
They did have like some, I don't know, like a local farm. It sort of reminded me of 4-H, but I don't think it was 4-H. Maybe
Sutton
it was.
has a 4-H.
Maybe it was 4-H then. They had some cows in their booth vendor spot or whatever it was, and that was cool. 'Cause they were huge. You go in, and pet them, and
Pet the cow?
yeah, yeah. It's kind of cool to be up close to,
Bucket list. Check.
yeah, pet the cow.
I petted a cow.
They were huge. They were huge, and they had a handful of them, and so it was kind of cool to be up close to them.
There's no place to put that. We were struggling where we were gonna put the calf.
But that's the thing, is that they just have this like huge field with all this
Right.
kind of space. With
Yeah, we
grass.
had somebody that wanted to do cow chip bingo or something too once.
Yeah. We have no space for that. Before we had goat something behind the library, but it's all gravel now, so we can't do that. There's no reason I can't try to reach out to a 4-H group and see if they can bring some little bunnies and some of this and that and hand out flyers about their 4-H program. Where are we gonna put them?
Library lawn?
Reach out to Valley Tech, see if they're coming back.
Valley Tech's on you.
The library lawn? You could put-
Well,
Maybe think of Valley Tech.
last year, we were not asked, we were informed that there was gonna be stuff set up on almost all of the lawn.
Okay. For the library?
Yep.
Okay.
And it gets a little tough when we're depending on some of that lawn because the library is part of the Douglas town property. So I have to find out what they're doing. And if I bring it up, they're gonna say, oh no, we're taking it all. Okay.
The only thing is that they, you know, they say that, but then they come out with, 3 little tables. They don't, plenty of room, So,
I mean, I think maybe you're right about the capitalizing on the street entertainment thing, right? Like we've got, to Steve's point, we're like really maxed out on space. We're utilizing every square inch we've got. We sort of lean into this, like having lots of things available and around for people to be exposed to, as opposed to like people going to find things.
No, we're not able to extend, obviously, beyond Unibank because of the traffic.
we have to make it so that we can reroute traffic around us, So we're really kind of confined to where we are now. We've grown pretty much to that. The only thing we did do, or the only thing we were able to do, was expand up Pleasant Street a little bit more and go around the corner, like around the church. That was our expansion that we did in the last couple of years, because we just got a little bigger and a little bigger. So, but we're kind of bursting now.
But we can't do anything with intersections, like heading down towards Haywood or anything like that.
That's part of the detour, and the police and fire would not be happy with us.
And then we've taken, we've actually even made more use of the space that we have. Like, now we've used the whole front parking lot of the credit union, which,
It's very generous, and we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
so we use that space now too. So we kind of pretty much expanded into just about all of that real estate down there that is enclosed with,
Plus, that's main stage.
yeah.
All of Jake's store.
It's
Now-
hard to try to squeeze, like a few square feet out of that.
I
And we
have-
did lose some spaces too, because we used to have that dirt thing aside of Rhoda's
Yeah.
there.
Gas.
where we
Oh,
had
and she
set up
doesn't want us
cars.
to use it anymore.
Yeah.
That was a perfect spot for that. Anyway, here's the thought. Now, we have 4 stages. What happens behind the church is a little lawn area. What happens if we put a small petting zoo there and don't have a stage there? It would save money, for one, less work for John, and with the petting zoo, draw people up into that direction.
Why couldn't you put the petting zoo on the Mumford Lodge lawn?
I might possibly have plans for that. I want to reach out to In Gears and reach out to the lodge to see if we can put the antique cars there.
It's not gonna work.
It's what?
Not gonna work. Get sidewalks.
Well, I have difficulties with some things that happened last year. And so
Yeah, they're not gonna,
I,
they don't, they have their driveway, but they don't want you to put antique cars in that because that's where they park that day.
right?
Yeah, so,
Well, we need things to draw people up to that end. And there are times that we had a young lady that, remember you guys quickly moved the stage from at the end of the church lawn to the lodge because it had an overhang? And then it had a tent for the family, but there are times that there's nobody up there watching the entertainment. And I feel sad for the people that are entertaining. And so I also kind of wanted to possibly move the antique cars.
Where did we put them last year?
they
They were,
didn't come last year
Because it was raining.
because
Yeah.
of rain,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did we have a spot for them? We didn't.
No,
yes, we did.
oh, we did, where?
In the parking lot?
Kerry from In Gear worked with Grill on Main to use their parking lot.
Oh,
But what do? They just park there, or is there any like?
It's a little mini car show.
oh, that's right, they
Is
were
there
gonna
any
park in
voting
some
or
of those
judging,
parking
or
spaces,
they
yeah.
just
Well,
park
In
there
Gear
and
sets
people
up,
ask them questions?
yeah.
Okay.
In
They-
Gear is there and they have a lot of knowledge about antique cars because they own some, they work on some, they have friends that have antique cars. So they work with their group of people, plus they set up their tent for, contact this person, that person, whatever.
Mhm. And they also give out a trophy and a prize though.
They do.
Oh, do they?
So, yeah, so, and InGear sponsors that, so.
Nice.
So what happened is they have all of their antique cars come up, and she has little slips of paper or something, and then people vote.
Hmm.
And they vote on like best in show or something like that, and that person gets a trophy. So
But
they
other
kind of
than
run.
driving them in. There's no like antique parade kind of thing. Or they
No. They just drive them in and they open them up. You can see the chrome things and,
Get to talk to the owners
Talk
and the
to the owners
drivers.
and
Is
stuff.
that one of
It's
the
just a
awards?
show.
Quote, chrome things.
Chromium.
The chromiest.
The chrome things, yeah. They're antique cars, they restore them, and then so you can kind of look ooh and ah and,
So you don't think the antique cars will fit at the lodge?
we can ask. I don't, it depends on how many they have. There was one time, okay, when we were still using that dirt lot at Broder's, that they had 20 cars in there.
That's a
Okay.
perfect spot too.
And that was awesome. They had like 20 different, they had old trucks and old cars and, it was pretty neat to go in there and take a look,
I can try talking to Rhoda.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I've ever interacted with her.
We have our own insurance if that's one of her worries.
yeah, I mean, I can.
Yeah, let me find out.
And I had talked to, there's a couple that has lived in her building for many years, and they have no issue with the car showing up early, and they love the whole event. They were asking, where are the antique cars?
Yeah, so if Rhoda's game, she's,
Yeah, let me find out.
we'll get her covered by
The
our
Chinese
liability
restaurant
policy
downtown.
that
Let
day.
me,
Yeah.
let me
Is
see.
That
that
if I
where it
parking
was
lot
last
right
year?
there?
Isn't that where it was last
Do you
year?
have her
They
contact
didn't,
info?
last year she said
Do you have
no,
her
we couldn't
contact
use it,
info?
so we were
I
gonna
will
put it in
get
the
it to
Grill
you.
on Main, which would have been a great parking lot for it,
People
and draw
were
people
more,
into the Grill on Main restaurant.
Tactful and
So it was kind of a win-win for the Grill on Main. And then it rained, so
Okay.
the people didn't bring their cars. But we
But
see,
Grandma Main had agreed to do that.
yes,
Yeah.
we let In Gear work with them because they know exactly what they need for their cars where we don't. And after the event, every year, we see tons of people going into the Grill on Main for food. It's just a nice, people get to finally sit down and, oh, it was a great day, let's go sit down and have a meal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so I guess we'll talk to Carrie and see what her thoughts are.
Well, John's gonna reach out to Rhoda and see if.
Oh,
we
that's
can
right,
get
I'll
that
wait.
spot.
I won't contact
Yeah.
Carrie. Okay, we'll erase
So,
that.
see if we can get that spot back for the empty cars. That would be perfect.
And I don't know if it's the biggest thing is insurance. We have our own insurance for the day.
Yeah, let me talk to her and find out.
And her tenants were asking, where are the antique cars?
Maybe a fresh interaction
True.
might soften the relationship. So Christine had actually had the same feedback as you about the music up, the performers up at stage C not getting much pull up
Right.
there. Her suggestion was to swap the stuff that's happening on B to there and vice versa.
Yep.
Which is what we used to do. We used to put music down on stage B, and that has since become sort of more like variety acts instead of music.
Okay.
So I guess that means a couple questions like, would we have room to do the dog racing up there
Yes.
on the street?
Mm-hmm.
We would with the train.
We would just shove it off to the side a
Oh.
little, and then we'd get the train through there still.
Okay, but then you're gonna stop the train during the dog racing? Because the crowds line the track 4 or 5 people deep.
3, 4 have to measure it up. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. At one time, we had the dog racing right on the Mason's Lawn.
One year.
Yeah.
But we moved it because of visibility. It was hard for people to get spots.
A lot of times we have vendors all the way up to the parking lot at the back of the church.
Yeah.
All right, let me question this. How long does it take to do the Wiener races so that you have to stop the trains?
It's less about how long they take and it's the setup of the track. So I've started designing the schedule so I can just leave the track set up. Because it's such a pain in the rear end to set it up and then break it down and set it back up.
I got a perfect spot for you to do it. So
Where's that?
you can do it right in the driveway
That line?
of,
That
no,
line?
of Webster First. We have,
No, that defeats the point.
well, how does it defeat the point?
Oh,
the
because
point
we're
is
trying to
pull
do-
people up
yeah.
there. It's a draw. We want to bring a crowd up there, and it brings a crowd.
And with safety purpose, they may not want something blocking the street if they have to get a vehicle through. Even with vendors set up on either side, you can still slowly get a vehicle through. But if you've got the dog track set up, you can't.
What are you talking about? The street or the driveway at Webster First?
No, the street.
Oh, okay.
Why don't
I
you
don't
take,
know why.
take a look?
Yeah, but you could, okay, well.
Could you
looking at-
use, the back part of the church has some spacing for parking, and I usually put vendors there. Is that long enough to do the Wiener race? It's about a 5, at least a 5, if not 6 vehicle parking space.
Yeah, but it's not the space, because it's not the space for the Wiener dog track. It's because when you run that, you're gonna have 100 people crowded around it.
Oh.
The people are in the way, not the track.
Still in the way of the train.
Yeah, so,
So the actual racing itself, and maybe you stop the train. Maybe you stop the train while it's running. Maybe not. I don't know. It's kind
Trains are
of a pain in the
that's
rear
hard to
end.
do.
I know.
pretty good money maker for the event.
It's hard to stop the train because there's a
There's a
line all the
line,
time.
this makes, I know, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even with the second one, there's a line for the second one.
Which we got a driver. Alex is gonna drive again.
Yeah.
Barrel train.
Why don't you take some measurements and see
Yeah.
what it looks like up there?
Well, a couple things. We gotta take a measurement of the track anyway.
starting gate,
So
yeah.
we'll know, maybe we can get a better idea on where we can place it.
Because I'm
Well-
not opposed to swapping the stages. So we would do, I'd put just like quieter music down by the Goodness Store. Music all day,
Mhm.
4 or 5 bands, and then we do the variety entertainment up there, dog racing, dancing,
The magician.
the magician. That's kind of about it.
Now, can you, for instance, if I don't think what's the difference if they block vendors down one end or block vendors up the other end? So if you put the wiener dog race where vendors would be set up, but out just enough so that people can be on one side and all the rest can be on this side,
What-
but they're not blocking the road, but you could leave it set up. And if it's the same spacing,
What road?
heading towards the lodge.
On Depot Street.
Yeah.
That's but that doesn't work because the
You still
train
have the
goes
train.
by there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about the train. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
And if the track is set up, that's fine, because the train can squeeze by that.
Right,
But
but
it
it's
just
when
can't
when
squeeze
it's
by
when
it when
it's
there's
working.
200 people there. Yeah.
All right, we'll work on that.
Now, or that's the only, you keep it where it is. Keep it in front of stage B, the wiener dog race only. And then put the other stage acts up at stage B.
Yeah, I could. I don't love it.
It doesn't make any sense to have the wiener dog race, instead of going this way, turn it up more at the end of the lodge, at the end of that street where you've got the barricade. Too many people, safety-wise, probably not a good idea. We'll work on that. Okay, it's going in the minutes. We're working on placing up the wiener dog races.
And remember that also what happens up there, okay, because it gets a little tight up there now, because we have big, huge dump trucks and fire trucks
Yes.
parked there at the
Yes.
end now. So that makes it a little trickier because, they're blocking it off to protect the crowd, so, but it makes it a little tight around that corner.
Yeah. So if we want to, even maybe we'd even start the parade up there, run it opposite direction. Larger than life parade, run it down Main Street and then back up.
Maybe. Staging them behind the post office was good though.
Yeah, but you got plenty of space up there to park your van.
Yeah.
The lodge doesn't allow anyone to park there but them.
Unless you
Because
fi-
they do need parking for
Yeah.
their people.
Unless I find a spot in somewhere up there.
Yeah. Well, step one is find some measurements, do some logistics.
Yeah.
It doesn't
We'll figure it out.
it shouldn't impact scheduling. It's all the same amount of spaces, just
Yeah,
to know where they're gonna be.
And time and
Yeah.
spaces, it's just a matter of where it's gonna be reside.
You want one parade or two?
What do you think? Reach out to Amy and find out.
We need to add to it. You can't have the same old, same old.
Yeah, I want her group in costume this time though, of some type. And she promised me fairies once.
Well, they were. The littler girls were adorable and they had cute little wings.
Oh, okay.
This is from the
I
Dance
didn't see
Academy.
it, but
Dance Sensations on West Street,
Mm.
or I think it's what's my street?
Rydell.
I don't know, Rydell. Yeah, that's it. So, need a different song?
Yeah. Can you get music?
Yeah. Tony gets music.
What do you want from music?
Not celebrate.
Not celebrate?
No.
What we had the first time was pretty good.
What you had the first time. Something like that. Or
Something
even
like that? Okay. Something Lion King-y.
Yeah.
And we need to somehow add something to the parade, thoughts of whatever. Because there's the puppets and the drama did a great job interacting with the crowd. And people were so happy with that, even the adults.
Yeah, they did it. They did a great job.
And Dance Sensations, you know, they do well. So
I want to do it better before we add anything to it. I just want to do it better.
How do you do that? What do you mean?
So, like, better music. Celebrate wasn't great. I don't know if we've been giving Amy enough lead time. I want to get the, like, choreographing better, bigger, like, more celebratory, bigger. Get the
I mean, the
puppets
little ones are
doing better.
adorable, but the older ones could be doing more of a dance.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Didn't you have a king?
Routine.
Didn't you have a king one year?
Alex,
Yeah, he would have done it again, but it was raining.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, let's get that.
bring the print. All right, bring King back.
Like, can we get the puppets were fine, but they're missing something.
Interacting with the crowd is important. That's a major, besides them just walking and going like this, with them walking out and interacting with the crowd makes a huge difference.
I wonder if I can talk to those. I wonder if I can talk to the kids and find out a little bit more about what they need.
And we can bring all the puppets sometime, meet them, and let them play with them for an afternoon
Now,
with the
you-
music that we choose.
You had, how many did you, I think you had, what, 5?
5 or 6.
5
Yeah.
or 6? I have 9
Yeah.
puppets.
So maybe with a little bit more lead time, I can work with the theater director at Franklin. And let me work on that a bit with him and see what he thinks.
They may have some great ideas.
Yeah, maybe like clothing or like a makeup thing or
Even
something.
a mask.
I have masks. Remember the black masks?
Yeah, let me work with Skylar and see what we can do here.
You can tell them we're willing to bring all the puppets to him and let them, you have to choose the music too, so they realize what type of music they're working with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we want like caricature. You want it to be like a caricature.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna give me music? Give me some music.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have him get music before the next meeting.
How long?
Well, it doesn't matter because you're gonna loop it. Right?
How many loops?
Right?
Okay, yep. It should be at least, 4 or 5 minutes. though.
Well, because it's got to go up and then come back down.
Yeah,
I think we want to be
when
like
you loop it.
15,
Yeah.
right? Maybe like 15 minutes?
Yeah. It's about anywhere from 15 to 18 minutes from them to get from one side of the street to the next.
Yeah.
You can talk with Amy, see what she can do with her older girls, because the younger ones are adorable, but they can only do so much. They're like 3, 4, 5 years old. But the older girls have been dancing for years. Maybe she has some adult dancers too.
Do we need the dancers?
Then you're gonna have to add to the parade. It's not just enough with 9 puppets.
Yeah, I know. So
I wanted a dragon, but
what if we
We
lean
thought of a
into
Chinese
the
dragon
like,
last year.
what if we leaned into the like caricature part of this
Okay,
and less about the dancing part of it? So you get 9 puppets, you get the king on the stilts,
all
you
right.
get people dressed up, makeup-y outfits on the ground interacting with people in addition to the, so you get sort of like 3 different heights kind of happening. The people who are on the ground and not with the puppets and not on the stilts can interact with the crowd more
Mhm.
than the puppets can because they're just going to be more flexible.
They could do that if they're in costume.
So more like theatrical, more like drama, theatrical, less of a marching parade.
More like a Disney parade.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking.
Couple of mimes.
Something.
Ugh, that doesn't go with the puppet thing.
But something like that.
Can.
It's
Yeah.
just like the idea of like being in a character though, like
Okay.
leaning into this idea of like being in a character.
So we look into that before we contact Dance Sensations.
Yeah.
All right.
And the theater director at Franklin is really good. So I'm going to lean on him and see what he thinks, if this is something he could maybe sort of like handle, like choreograph. Because we already had 5 or 6 kids doing this thing, but if he then says like, hello 15 kids, you're now doing this thing on Saturday morning, you're going to get, volunteer hours for it, we're going to like do a thing, like
Mhm.
maybe I can sort of lean on him for that.
They have to have all these costumes too, because they're drama, not that they're gonna have like characters.
Yeah.
I've been after the Jenk store for years to have people in their old outfits and walk around.
Let me talk to Skylar.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Taking it in, because a lot of these things I hadn't, like, seen or witnessed. Like,
You see my puppets?
we go in, we get some food, get a beer, might get the tool.
You didn't see the puppets? You didn't
bounties,
see the puppets
you know,
in the
Yeah.
parade last year?
Becky goes and sees the vendors.
Gets her free stuff from Unibank, you know, chapstick for years.
I don't think you saw the puppets.
Oh, you didn't,
I
all right,
didn't.
you're gonna have to watch
I
the
didn't.
puppet thingy. And for next meeting, we're going to contact the 3 chiefs for,
Yes, I'm gonna reach out to the chiefs, let them know that we're doing this again.
yep,
Um,
bless you.
Thank you.
You're on camera.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, you got the cameras face the wrong direction. We'll have a talk
I made
after.
those
I
puppets
switch 'em.
they're wearing, everything.
And who's working them?
Hmm?
Who's working them?
They're just high school drama kids.
Okay.
Now, this is after, there's music playing in the background, but I didn't record that. But when they marched down the street with music, and they had the puppets dancing around, kind of playing with the kids and stuff.
Even the adults loved it when a big puppet comes up because they're just in black and yeah, they have a face, but they're wearing black. And the holster that holds the puppets is under a jacket.
Mhm.
So you really don't even notice the girls.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get that done.
Remember?
Yeah, it looks
They were good.
Yeah, they look good now.
All right, anything else?
Yes,
Can you
anything
send-
else?
Can you send that to me?
Sure.
Text me it or email it to me, the video?
Yep.
I think I probably have one too, but. Are we almost done? Lose the steam.
Yep, because we gotta close this up
Okay.
And
How
then we
about-
have those.
Oh, let's talk about next meeting.
unless we arrange to do that another time.
Next meeting.
Mondays are no longer good for me for the next 2 months,
Mondays are no longer good. How about Tuesdays?
I suppose.
Okay. So, I don't know, second or third Tuesday of the month.
Second is Red Nights.
Third or fourth Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
All right, so right now, we're just gonna like
What's the
pencil the
date?
third Tuesday of the month. Okay? And then if something changes, we'll change it.
Do you want to go back to Mondays after?
Yes,
What is it?
Okay.
Mondays is the
Tuesday
best.
is the 21st.
All right, You're in May. Next month
No.
is March.
Yeah.
Oh, 21st, okay, sorry. All
So
right,
Yeah.
Tuesday the 21st.
Tuesday the 21st.
2 birthdays.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Move to adjourn.
So moved.
Move. So moved.
Aye.
Second.
Good.
You'll get used to that.